Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Rency and today we will talk about our stories. So let's we continue. Uh, Turned by spiritual anguish, I entered the attic one down, resolved to pray until an answer was virtuous faced. Mercifulest Mother of the universe, teach me the self-thought vision or thought a guru sent by thee. The passing hours found my sobbing pleas without response. Suddenly I felt lift as thought boldly to a spear uncircumscribbled. The master comes today. A divine, womanly voice came from everywhere and nowhere. The supernal experience was shouted by a shout from a defining local. A young preside nicknamed Habu was calling me from the downstairs kitchen. Mukanda, enough of meditation. You are needed for an year. Another day, I might have replied impatiently. Now I wiped my tear-slown face and Mickey obeyed the summonses. Together, Habu and I set out for a distant marketplace in the Bengali sections of Banaras. The ungentle Indian sun was not uh, was not yet zenith as we made our purchases in the bazaars. We pushed our way through the colorful medley of housewives, guides, precepts, and simply clad windows. Dignified Brahmins and ubiquitous holy bulls as Habu and I moved on. I turned my head to survey a narrow, inconspicuous land. Uh, a church-like man in the austere robes of a Swami stood motionless at the end of the lane. Instantly and anciently familiar he seemed. For a trice my gaze fed hungrily. Then doubt assailed me. You are confusing. His wandering monk with someone knows you too. I thought, dreamier, walk on. After 10 minutes, I felt heavy numbness in my feet as thought turned to stone. They were unable to carry me farther. Laboriously, I turned around, my feet regained normality. I faced the opposite direction. Again, the curious weight oppressed me. The sun is magnetically drawing me to him. With, with this thought, I hacked my parcels into the arm of Habu. He had been observing my eccentric footwork with amazement and how burst into laughter. What ails you? Are you crazy? My my tumultuous emotions prevented any report. I sped silently away, retreading my step as through a wingshod. I reached the narrow lane. My quiet glance revealed the quiet figure steadily gazing in my direction. A few eager steps, and I was at his feet. Gurudeva, the divine face was the one I had seen in a thousand's vision. These halcyon eyes in a linoleum head with her pointed beard and following locks, her head oft peered through the gloom of my nocturnal reveries, holding a promise I had not fully understood. Oh, my own, you have come to me. My guru uttered the words again and again in Bengali, his voice teluminous with joy. How many years I have waited for you? We entered a wondrous of silence. Words seemed the rankest superfluous. Eloquence followed in a soundless chant from the heart of master of discipline. With an ananta of irrefragable inside, I sensed that my guru knew God and would lead me to him. The obstruction of his life disappeared in a fragile dawn of a parental memory's dramatic time. past, present, and future are its cycling sense. This was not first son to find me at this holy feet. My hand in his, my guru led me to his temporary residence in the Rana Mahal section of the city. His athletic figure moved with free tread. Till irritated about 55 at this time, he was active and vigorous as a young man. Till it tracked about 55 at this time, he was active and vigorous as a young man. His dark eyes were large, beautiful with pomelane's wisdom, slightly curly hair, softness, a face of striking power, strength, struply with gentleness. As we made our way to the stone balcony of a house overlooking the gangs, he said efficiently, I shall give you my ashram and all I possess. Sir, I come for wisdom and got realization. Those are your treasures, trowels I am after. The swift Indian twilight had dropped its half curtain before my master spoke again. His eyes held unfathomable tenderness. I give you my unconditional love. Precious words. I quarter century passed before I had another auricular proof of his love. His lips were a stranger to adjure. Silence suited his ocean heart. Will you give me the same unconditional love? He gazed at me with a childlike trust. I will love you. I will love you. I will love you eternally, Gurudeva. Ordinary love is selfish, darkly rooted in desire and satisfactions. Divine love is without condition, without boundary, without change. The flux of the human heart is gone forever at the transfixing touch of pure love. He added humbly, if ever you find me falling from a state of God realization, please promise to put my head on your lap and help to bring me back to the cosmic beloved we both worship. He rose. He rose then in the gathering darkness and guided me to an inner room as we ate mangoes and almond sweetmeats. He earnestly wove into his conversation an intimate knowledge for my nature. I was always struck at the grandeur of his wisdom, extutively blended with an infinite humility. Do not grieve for your amulet. It has served its purpose like a divine mirror. My guru appreciably had caught a reflection of my whole life. The living reality of your presence, Master, is joy beyond any symbol. It is time for a change. Inasmuch as you like and as you are unhappily situated in the ashram, I had made no references to my life. They now seemed superfluous by his natural unemphatic manner. I understood that he wished no associate education at his clairvoyances. You should go back to Calcutta. Why exclude rebels from your love of humanity? His suggestion dismayed me. My family was predicting my return. Thought I had been unresponsive to many. Placed by letter, let the young bird fly in the metaphysical skies. Ananta had remarked his wings will tire in the heavy atmosphere. We shall yet see him swap toward home, fold his pinions, and humbly rest in our family rest. His discovering smile fresh in my mind. I was determined to do no swapping in the direction of Kolkata. Sir, I am not returning home, but I will follow you anywhere. Please give me your address and your name. Swami Shri Yukteswar Giri. My chief ashram is in Sherampur on Raighat Lane. I am visiting my mother here from only a few days. I wondered at God's intricate play with his devotees. Serampore is but 12 miles from Calcutta, yet in those regions I had never caught a glimpse of my Guru. We had to travel for our meeting to ancient city of Kashi. It's Banaras, hallowed by memories of Lahiri Mahashiyas. Here, to the feet of Buddha, Shanskar Jiya, and many other yogi Christ has blessed the soil. You will come to me in 4 weeks. For the first time, Shri Yukteswar's voice was strained. Now that I have told you of many external affections and have shown my happiness, and at finding you, you feel free to discredit my request. The next time we meet, you shall have to recognize my interest. I won't easily accept you to as a discipline. There must be complete surrender by obedience to my strict training. I remained obstinately silent. My guru quickly patterned my difficulty. Do you think your relatives will laugh at you? Do you think seriously? I will not return. You will return in 30 days. Never. The conversation tension unrevealed. I bowed reverently at his feet and depart, walking in the midnight darkness toward as the ashram. I wondered why the miraculous meeting. I wondered why the miraculous meeting had ended on an inharmonious note. The dual scale of Maya that balanced ever joy with grief. My young heart was not yet malleable to the transforming fingers of my Guru. The next morning, I noticed the increased hostility in the in the attitude of the hermitage members. They speak to my days with invariable rudeness. 3 weeks passed. Dayanand then left the ashram to attend a conference in Bombay. A pandemonium broke over my helpless head. Mukunda, Mukunda, Mukunda is presides accepting her hermitage hospitality without making proper return. Overhearing this remark, I regretted for the first time that I had obeyed the request to send back my money to father. With heavy heart, I sought out my soul friend Jitendra. I am leaving. Please convey my respectful regrets to Dayanandji when he returns. I will leave also. My attempts to meditate here meet with no more favor than your own. Jitendra spoke with determination. I have met a critic like Sant. Let us visit him in Serampore, and so the bird prepared to swoop preciously close to Calcutta. Two penniless boys in Vrindavan. It would serve you right if father distracted you, Mukunda. How foolishly you are throwing away your life. An elder brother sermon was elicited my ears. Jitendra and I, fresh off the train, a figure of speech merely, we were covered with dust, had just arrived at the home of Ananta, recently transferred from Calcutta to the ancient city of Agra. Brother was a supervising accountant for the public works department of the government. You well know, Ananta, I seek my inheritance from the heavenly Father. Money first. You know, money first. God can come later. Who knows? Life may be too long. God first. Money is His self. Who can tell? Life may be too short. My retort was surrounded by the exigencies of the moment and held no precedents. Else Ananta's life did come to an early close. Wisdom from the hermitage, I suppose, but I see you have but left Banaras. Ananta's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. He was yet hoping to secure my penitence in the family nest. My sojourn in the Banaras was not in vain. I found it there everything in my heart had been longing for. You may be sure it was not your Pandit or his son. Ananta joined me in reminiscent laughter. He had to admit that the Banaras clairvoyant he selected had proved a short-sighted one. What are your plans, my wandering brother? Jitendra pursued me to Agra. We shall view the beauties of the Taj Mahals here. I explained then we are going to my newly found guru, who has a hermitage in a Serampur. Ananta hospitably arranged for our comfort several times during the evening. I noticed his eyes fixed on me reflectively. I know that look. I thought a pult is brewing. The denouement look took place during our early breakfast, so you feel quite independent of your father's wealth. Ananta's gaze was innocent as he resumed the barbs of yesterday's conversation. I am conclusions of my dependencies on God. Words are cheap. Life has shielded you thus far. What a plight if you were forced to look to the invisible hand for your food and shelter. You would soon be beginning on the streets. Never, I would not put faith in the passers-by rather than in God. He can devise for his devotee a thousand resources beside the beginning bowl. More rhetoric, suppose I suggested that you valued philosophy be put to a test in his tingial world. I would agree. Do you confine God to spectacular rewards? We shall see. Today you shall have an opportunity either to angle or to confirm my own views. Ananta paused for a dramatic moment, then spoke slowly and seriously. I proposed I propose that I send you and your fellow disciplined Jatindra this morning to the nearby city of Brindavan. You must not take a single rupee, you must not eat, and you must not beg either for food or money. You must not reveal your predicaments to anyone. You must not go without your meals, and you must know to be stranded in Vrindavan. If you return to my bungalows here before 12 o'clock tonight without having broken any rules of the taste, I shall be the most ashamed man in Agra. I accepted the challenge. No hesitation was in my words, off in my heart. Grateful memories flashed of the instant beneficences. My healing of deadly cholera throats an appeal to Lahari Mahashaya's picture. The playful gift to the of the two ki- to the of the two kites on the Lahore roof, the opportunate amulet embisted my discoverment in barely. The disguised message through the sadhu outside, the courtyard of the Pandit's house in Banaras, the vision of Divine Mother and her majestic words of the love. Here, her swift head through Master Mahasayas to my triumphing embarrassments. The last minute guidance that had materialized my high school diploma and the ultimate boon, my living master from the midst of my lifelong dreams. Never would I admit my philosophy unique to any tussle on the what's harsh proving grounds. Your willing glance does you created credit. I'll escort you to the train at once. Ananta said. He turned to the open-mouthed Jitendra. You must go along as a witness and very likely a fellow victim. As a half hour later, Jitendra and I were in possession of a one-way ticket from the trip. We submitted in a scheduled corner of the station to a search of the persons. Ananta was quickly satisfied that we were carrying No hidden hoard. Our simple dhotis concerned nothing more than was necessary. As faith invaded the serious realms of financials, my friend spoke prostrantly. Ananta, give me 1 or 2 rupees as a safeguard, then I can telegraph you in case of mischance. Jitendra, my elocution was sharply reproachful. I will not proceed with the test if you take any money as a final security. There is something reassuring about the clean of coins. Jitendra said no more as I regretted him sternly. Mukanda, I am not heartless. A hint of humility had crept into Ananta's voice. It may be that his conscience was smiting him, perhaps for sending two penniless boys to a strange city, perhaps for his own religion's skepticism. If by any chance or grace you pass successfully through the Vrindavan or ordeal, I shall ask you to initiate me as your discipline. This promise had a certain irregularity in keeping with the unconventional occasion. The eldest brother in the Indian family seldom bows before his juniors. He received respect and obedience second only to a father. But no time remained for my command. Our train was in a point of departure. Jitendra maintained a lugubrious silence as the train converted the mills. Finally, he bestirred himself, learning over. He pinched me painfully on a tender spot. I see no sign that God is going to supply our next meal. Be quiet, doubting Thomas. The Lord is working. The Lord is working with us. Can you also arrange that he hungry and that he hurry? Already I am famished merely at the prospects before us. I left Banaras to view the Taj Mauritius, not to enter my own. Cheer up, Jitendra. Are we not to have our first glimpse of the scared wonders of Vrindavan? I am in deep joy at the thought of training the ground hallowed by the feet of Lord Krishna. The door of our compartment opened. Two men seated themselves. The next train stop would be the last. Young lads, do you have friends in Vrindavan? The stranger opposite me was talking a surprising interest. None of your business. Rudely, I avert my gaze. You are probably flying away from the familiars under the unattachment of the stealier of hearts. I am of a devotional temperaments myself. I will make it my positive duty to see that you received food and I shelter from this overpowering hate. No, sir. Let us alone. You are very kind, but you are the mistaken in judging us to be tenuous from home. No further conversation ensued. The train came to a halt. As Jitendra and I descended to the platform, our chances companies in linked arm with us, the cemented horse cab. We ailed before a stately hermitage set amidst the evergreen trees of a well-kept ground. Our benefactors were evidently knows here. A smiling lad led us without a comment to a parlor. We were soon joined by an elderly woman of dignified bearing. Gaurima, the princess, could not come. One of the men addressed the ashram hostage. At the last moment, their plans went awry. They sent deep regrets, but we have brought two other guests as soon as we meet on the train. I fell down to them as devotees of Lord Krishna. Goodbye, young friends. Our two acquaintances walked to the door. We shall meet again, if God be willing. You are welcome here. Gaurima smiled in a motherly fashion. You could not have come on a better day. I was expecting two royal patrons of this hermitage What a shame if my cooking had found none of to appreciate it. The pleasant words had a surprising effect on Jitendra. He burst into tears. The prospect he had feared in Brindavan was turning out as a royal entertainment. His sudden mental adjustment proved too much for him. Our hostess looked at him with curiosity but without remark. Perhaps she was familiar with adolescent squeakers. Lunch was announced. Gauri Ma led the way to a dining patio, spicy with savory odors. The vanished into an adjoining kitchen. I had been predicting this moment, selecting the appreciated and appropriated spot on Jitendra's bowl. I gave him a pinch as painful as the one he had given me on the train. Doubting Thomas, the Lord walks in a hurry too. The hostess returned with a pankha in a pyunkha. She steadily fanned us in the oriental fashion as we squatted on orted blanket seats. Ashram disciplines passed to and fro with with some 30 courses rather than meal. The description may be only sumptuous repast since ever young on this planet. Jitendra and I had never before tasted such as delicious dishes fit for princes indeed. Hundred mother, what your royal patrons could have found more urgent than attending this banquet. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. You have given us a memory for a lifetime. Silence. As we were by Ananta's requirement, we could not explain to the glorious lady that our thanks held a double significance. Our, our sincerity at least was a patent. We depart with her blessing and an attractive invention to revisit the hermitage. The heat outdoor was a merry seals my friend and I made for the shelter of a lordly Kamadama tree at the ashram gate. Sharp words followed. Once again, Jitendra was blessed with misgivings. A fine miss you have got me into. Our luncheon was only accidental good fortune. How can we see the sights of this city without a signal peace between us? And how on earth are you going to take me back to Ananta's place? You forget God quickly now that your stomach is filled my words, not bitter. Where accusatory, how short is human memory for divine favors. No man lives who has not seen some of his prayers granted. I am not likely to forget my folly in venturing out with a madcap like you. Be quiet, Jitendra. The same Lord who fed us will show us Brindavan and return us to Agra. I slight young man of pleasing countenance appreciated at a rapid pace halting under our tree. He bowed before me. Dear friend, you and your companies must be strangers here. Permit me to be your host and guide. It is scarcely possible for an Indian to pal, but Jitendra's face was suddenly skilly. I politely declined the offer. You are surely not mentioning me. The stranger's alarm would have been comic in any other circumstances. Why not? You are my guru. His eyes sought mine trustfully. During my midi devotional, the blessed Lord Krishna appeared in a vision. He shows he showed me two Froscian figures under this very tree. One face was yours, my master. Often have I seen it in meditation. What joy if you accept my humble service. I too I too am glad you have found me. Neither God nor man has forsaken us. Thought I was motionless, smiling at the eager face before me, and inward obeisance cast me at the divine feet. Dear friends, will you not honor my home with a visit? You are kind. But the plans in unfeasible. Already we are guests of my brothers in Agra. At least give me memories of touring Brindavan with you. I gladly consistent, and the young man who said his name with name was Prapt Chatterjee. It's a Pratap Chatterjee. Hailed a horse carrying carriage. We visited. We visited Madan Mohan Temple and other Krishna shrines. Night descended before we had finished our temple devotions. Excuse me, excuse me. Meanwhile, I get a sandesh. Pratap entered a shop near the railway station. Jitendra and I sauntered along the wide street, crowded now in the comparative coolness. Our friends was absent for the some time, but finally returned with gifts of many sweetmeats. People allow me to gain his religion's merit. Pratap smiled pellegrinantly as he held out a bundle of rupees notes and two tickets just purchased to Agra. The, re- the reverence of my attemptance was for the invisible hand, scoffed at by Ananta. Had its bounty not far extended necessity, we shout out a schedule spot near this station. Pratap, I will instruct you in the Creole you in the Kriya of Lahiri Mahashayas, the greatest yogi of modern time. His technique will be your guru. The intention was concluded in half an hour. Kriya is your chintamani. I told the new student. The technique, which, as you see, is simple, embodies the art of quickening man's spiritual evolution. Hindu scriptures teach that the incarnating ego requires a million years to obtain liberation from Maya. This natural period is greatly shortened throughout Kriya Yoga, just as plant growth can be uh, accelerated far beyond its normal rate, as Jagdish Chandra Bose has demonstrated. So, psychological development also can be speeded by scientific means. Be faithful in your practice. You will approach the Guru of all Gurus. I am transported to the find this yogi's key. Long short. Pratap spoke thoughtfully. It's unshickling effort on my sensory bonds will free me for the higher spirit. The vision today of for Lord Krishna could only mean my highest God. We sat a while in silent understanding, then walked slowly to the station. Joy was within me as I boarded the train, but this was Jitendra's day for tears. My affectionate farewell to Pratap had been punctuated by stifled shock from both my companies. The journey once more found Jitendra in a welter of grief, not for himself this time, but against it himself. How shallow my trust! My heart has been stone. Never in future shall I doubt God's protections. Midnight was approaching. The two Cinderellas sent forth penance entered Ananta's bedroom. Just as he had lightly presides, his face was steady uh, in astonishment. Silently, I showed a table with rupee note. Jitendra, the truth. Ananta, tone was jocular. Has not this youngster been stating a whole cow? But as the tale was unfolded, my brother turned sober, then Solomon. The law of demand and supply reached into stubbled remarks that I had supposed. Ananta spoke with a spiritual enthusiasm never before noticeable. I understand for the first time of your indifferences to the values and vulgar accumulations of the world. Let as it was, my brother insisted that he received Diksha into Kriya Yoga. The Guru Muktanand had to shoulder in one night the responsibility of two unshouted disciplines. Breakfast on the following day was eaten in a harmony that had been absent of the preceding morning. I smiled at Jitendra. You shall not be cheated of the Taj. Let us view it before starting off a Sharampur. Binding. Farewell of to Ananta. My friend and I were soon before the glory of Agra and the Taj Mahal, with white marble dazzling in the sun. It stands a vision of pure a cemetery. The perfect setting is dark cypress, glossy lawn, and triumphant lagoon. The interior is executive with lake-like carvings inlaid with semi-precious stones. Delicate wreath and scroll emerges intricately from marbles brown and violet. Illuminations from the dome falls on the cenotaphs of Emperor Shah Jahan and Mumtaz I Mahal, twin of his realm in his heart. Enough of sightseeing. I was longing for my Guru. Jitendra and I were shortly traveling south by train toward Bengal. Muktanand, Mukunda, I have not seen my family for months. I have changed my mind. Perhaps later I shall visit your master in your Serampur. My friend who may mildly be described as a vacillante in temperament left me in Calcutta. By local train, I soon reached Serampur Travels Mill to the north. A throb of wonderment stole over me as I realized that 28 days the elapsed since the Banaras meeting with my Guru. You will come to me in 4 weeks. Here I was, heart pounding, standing within his current yard on quite Raighat land. I entered for the first time of a hermitage where I was not spent the best part of the next 10 years with Indians, Janantavar. Incarnations of wisdom. Years in my master's hermitage. It's chapter 12. Years in my master hermitage. You have come. Sure, Sri Yukteswar greeted me for a tiger skin on the floor of the balconied sitting room. His voice was cold, his manner unemotional. Yes, dear master, I am here to follow you. Kneeling, I trusted his feet. How can that be? You ignore my wishes no longer, Guruji. Your wish shall be my law. That is better. Now I can assume responsibility for your life. I willingly transfer the burden. Master, my first request then is that you return home to your family. I want you to enter college in Calcutta. Your education should be continued. Very well, sir. I hid my consternation. Would important books pursues me down the years? First father, now Sri Yukteswar. Somebody Someday you will go to the west. Its people will be more respective to Indians' ancient wisdom if the stranger Hindu teacher has a university degree. You will be near in Calcutta. You know best, Guruji. Uh, my gloom departed. The reference to the West I found puzzling, remote, but my opportunity to please master by obedience was a weekly immediate. You will be near in Calcutta. Come here whenever you find time. Every day, if possible, master gratefully. I accept your authority in every details of my life. On one conditional, on one condition. Yes, that you promise to reveal God to me. An hour-long verbal tussle instant. A master's word cannot be falsified. It is not lightly given. The implications in the pledged open out west metaphysical visast guru must be on eliminated terms indeed with the creator before he can obligate him to appear. I ascended Sri Yukteswar's divine unity and was determined as his discipline to press my advantage. You are of exacting disposition, then master's constant rank out with conventional finality. Finally, let your wish be my wish. A lifelong shadow lifted from my heart, the vague search, highter, and you was honor. I had founded external shelter in a true guru. Come, I will show you the hermitage. Master rose from his tiger mat. In glancing about, I noticed on a wall a picture that was the garlanded with a spray of jasmine. Laharimash, yes, I said in astonishment. Yes, my divine guru, Sri Yukteswar Stone, was reverently vibrant. Greater he was as man and yogi than any other teachers whose life came within the range of my investigations. Silently, I bowed before the familiar pictures. Soul, home, homage sped to the peerless master who, blessing my infancy, had gilded by my steps to this hover. Led by my guru, I told about the house and its grounds, large, ancient, and well built. The massive pillared hermitage surrounded a courtyard. Outer walls where moose conveyed pigeons fluttered over the flat grey roof, uncircumstantially sharing the ashram quarters. Rear garden was pleasant with jackfruits, mango, and planets trees. Balustrade balconies of upper room in the storied building face the courtyard from three sides. A spacious ground floor hall with a high ceiling supported by colonnades was used, master said, chiefly during the annual festivities of Durga Puja. A narrow stairway led to Sri Yukteswar sitting room, whose small balcony overlooked the street. The ashram was plainly furnished. Everything was simple, clean, and ulterior. Several Western style chair, bench, and tables were in evidence. Master invited me to stay overnight. A super of vegetable curry was served by two young disciples who were receiving her hermitage training. Guruji, please tell me something of your life. I was squatting on a straw mat near his tiger skin. The friendly stares were very close. It seemed beyond the balcony. My family name was Priya Nath Karar. I was born here in Serampur. Where father was a wealthy businessman, he left me these ancestral mansions. Now my hermitage, my formal schooling, was little. I found it slow and shallow. In early manhood, I undertook the responsibilities of a householder and have one daughter now married. My middle life was blessed with the guidance of Larry Marcias. After my wife died, I, 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 I joined the Swami order and received the new name of Sri Yukteswar Giri. Such are my simple analysis. Master smiled at my eager face. Like all biographical sketches, his words had given the outward facts without revealing the inner man. Guruji, I would like to hear some stories of your childhood. I will tell you a few, each one with a moral. Shri Yukteswar's eyes twinkled with his warning. My mother once tried to frigate me with an appalling story of the ghost in a dark chamber. I went there immediately and expressed my disappointment at having missed the ghost. Mother never told me another horror tale. A moral, look fear in the face, and it will cease to trouble you. Another early memory is my wish for an ugly dog's belong belong belonging belonging to a neighborhood. I kept my household in turmoil for a weeks to get the dog. My ears were deaf to offers of pet with more pre-processing appreciations. Moral attachment is a building. It lands in an imaginary halo of attractiveness to the object of desire. A third story concerns the plasticity of the youthful mind. I heard my mother remark occasionally, I am a man who accepts a job under anyone is a slave. That impression became so indelibly fixed that even after my marriage, I refused all the positions. I met expenses by investing my family involvement in land. Moral, good and positive suggestions should instruct the sensitive ears of children. Their early ideas long remain sharply edged. Master fell into tranquil silences around midnight. He led me to a narrow cot. Sleep was sound and sweet the first night under my Guru's roof. Shri Yukteswar chose the following morning to grant me his Kriya Yoga intentions. The technique I had already received from two disciplines of Lahiri Mahashias, a father and my tutor, Swami Kebalananda, but Master possessed a transforming power. At his trust, a great light broke upon my being, like the glory of countless suns blazing together, a food of ineffable bliss overwhelmed my heart to an innermost core. It was late in the afternoon of the following day before I could bring myself to leave the hermitage. You will return in 30 days. As I entered the door of my Calcutta home, I fulfillment of Master's predictions entered with me. None of my relatives made the point remarks I had feared about the reappearance one of the soaring bird. I climbed to my little attic and bestowed affectionate glance at thought on a living presence. You have witnessed my meditation and the tears and storm of my sadhana. Now I have reached the herbier of my divine teacher. Son, I am happy for us both. Father and I sat together in the evening calm. You have found your guru as in miraculous fashion. I once found my one. The holy land of Lahiri Mahashias is gardening and of our lives, your master has provided to be no to be no inaccessible Himalaya sant, but one nearby. My prayers have been answered in your search for good. You have not been permanently removed from my sight. Father was also pleased that my formal studies would be resumed. He made a suitable arrangements. I was enrolled the following day at a nearby Scottish Church College in Calcutta. Happy months sped by. My readers have doubtless made the perspicuous surmise that I was a little seen in the college classrooms. The Serampore Hermitage held a lure to irresistible. Master accepted my constant presence without comment. To my relief, he seldom referred to the health of learning, thought it was plain to all that I was never cut out for a scholar. I managed, I managed to attain minimum passing grades from time to time. Daily life at the ashram followed smoothly. Infrequently weird, my guru awoke before laying down, or sometimes sitting on the bed. He entered a state of samadhi. It was a simplicity itself to discover when Master had awakened, abused health of stupendous scholars, a sign or two, perhaps a bodily movement, then a soundless state of breathlessness. He was in deep yogi and yogic joy. Breakfast did not follow. First came a long walk by the gangs. Those morning strolls with my guru, how real can a vivid still. In the easy restorations of memory, I often find myself by his side. The early sun is warming the river. His voice rings out, rich with the the authenticity of wisdom. A bath, then the midday meal, its preparation according to the master's daily direction, had been the careful task of a young disciple. My guru was a vegetarian before embracing monkhood. However, he had eaten eggs and fish. His advice to students was to follow any simple diet which provides studied to one's constitution. Master are little, often rice, colored with turmeric or juicy of bits of spinach and lightly sprinkled with buffalo ghee or melted butter. Another day, he might have a lentil dal or a chana curry with vegetable for dessert. Mangoes or oranges with rice, pudding or jackfruit juice. Visitor appeared in the afternoons. A steady stream poured from the world into the tranquil hermitage. My guru treats all guests with a courtesy and kindness. A master, one who has realized himself as the omnipresent soul, not the body, or the ego perceives in all men in a striking similarity. The implementality of a sant is rooted in wisdom. They are no longer influenced by the alternating face of Maya, no longer subject to the like and dislikes that confuse the judgment of unenlightened man. Sri Yukteswar showed no special considerations to those who were powerful and rich or accomplished. Neither did he slight others for their poetry of literacy. He would listen respectfully to words of truth from a child, and on occasional would openly ignore a consensual pandit. 8 o'clock was the super hour, and sometimes found lingeringly guests. My guru would not excuse himself to eat alone. None let his ashram hungry or dissatisfied. Sri Yukteswar was never at a loss. never dismayed by unexpected visitors. Under his resourceful directions to the disciples, scanty food would imagine a banquet. Yet he was economical. His modest fund went far. Be comfortable within your purse, he often said. Extra wages will bring you discomfort, whether in the details of hermitage entertainment or of building and repair work or of other practical concerns. Master manifested the originality of a creative spirit. Quiet evening hours often brought one of my guru's discovers treasures against time. His every utterance was childish by wisdom, a sublime self assurance marked his mode of experiences. It was unique. He spoke as none other in my experience ever spoke. His thoughts were weighted in a delicate balance of discrimination before he permitted them the outward grape of speech. The essence of truth, all perceives with even and a psychological effect, came from him like a pregnant education of the soul. I was conscious always that I was in the presence of a living manifestance of God. The weight of his divinity automatically bowed my head before him. I guessed decided that Sri Yukteswar was becoming engrossed with the infant. He quickly engaged them in the conversation. He was incapable of stringing a pose or of floating in his inner withdrawal. Always one with the Lord, he needed to no separate time for communication and communion. A self-realized master has already left behind the stepping stone of meditation. The flower falls when the fruit appears, but a sant often cling to spiritual form in order to set an example for discipline. As midnight approached, my guru might fall into a doze with the naturalness of a child. There was no fuss about bedding. He often lay down, without even a pillow, on a narrow davenport, which was the background for his customary tiger skin seat. A night-long philosophical discussions was not rare. Any discipline could summon it by instantly and intentionally of interest. I felt no tiredness then, no desire for a sleep. Master's leaving words were sufficient. Oh, it is dawn. Let us walk by the gangs. So ended many of the periods of nocturnal edification. My early months with Sri Yukteswar culminated in a useful lesson how to outwit a mosquito. At home, my family always used protective curious. At night, I was dismayed to discover that in the Serampore Hermitage, this prudent custom was handed in the branch. Yet the insects were in the full residence. I was beaten from head to foot. My guru took pity on me. Buy yourself a certain and also one for me. He laughed and added, if you buy only one for yourself, all mosquitoes will concentrated on me. I was more than thankful to comply. On every night that I spent in Serampore, my guru would ask me to arrange the bedtime curtains. One night, when a cloud of mosquitoes surrounded us, master failed to issue his usual instructions. I listened nervously to the anticipatory hum of the ancients. Getting into bed, I thought a propitiatory prayer in their general direction a half hour later. I quote pretentiously to attract my guru's attention. I thought I would go mad with the beats and especially then the singing drawn as the mosquitoes celebrated bloodthirsty rites. No responsive steer from master. I appreciated him conscientiously. He was not a breathing. This was my first close observations of him in the yogic trance. It filled me with fright. His heart must have failed. I placed a mirror under his nose. No breath vapor appeared to make doubly certain. For minutes I closed his mouth and nostrils with my fingers. His body was cold and motionless. In a daze, I turned toward the door to summon help. So, a budding experimentalist, my poor nose. Master's voice was shaky with laughter. Why don't you go to bed? Is the whole world going to change for you? Change yourself. Be ready for the mosquitoes' consciousness. Thank you.